Okay, y'all, I wish it didn't get dark so early this time of year, but it's a good time to get going on a lawnmower so that you're not behind, or as behind in the spring. You're always going to be behind in the spring. But y'all saw me do a video, just kind of an overview of both of these mowers. This video will be about this Craftsman 2 mower here, and I'm going to go into more details and stuff about what each of these mowers are in their individual videos, since I just did an overview of the others. This one right here is a 12.5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton. They called them the LT4000s. It was built in, this engine was built in the 8th month of 1994. More specifically, it was actually August 1st. How about that? And then the battery's relative, or is not terribly old. It's from 2015, so it may or may not hold a charge. No big deal if it doesn't. The item, or the date code on this mower, is the 917257621. There you go. And then you have your date, manufacturer 10/12 of 94. So this mower was made in 1994, and time of filming this is 2019. So this thing is 25 years old. Just I want to step back and just y'all take a good look at this thing for it to be 25 years old. The guy I got it from paid $40 for it because I got it in a combo with this Troy Bilt. Had it kept under a shelter, this thing's probably never seen really weather, as in like it hasn't really been rained on or anything. Let's see, so the one thing that you'll find, and I'll do a quick example of this, is this mower was made in 95 and that one was made in 98. You find a lot of them that have like crazy play in the steering, just because of the way that the steering mechanism was manufactured on these. This one's not quite as bad, but you can see it's a good 1/8 to 1/4 turn. This one right here has the same type steering mechanism, and look how tight that is compared to the other two. It's probably the tightest I've ever seen on one of these older Craftsmans, so that's good. Let's see. Tires look like they're holding air. I put air in them the day before, and except for this one, which was leaking pretty bad, so it'll need a left rear tire tube. It's got the 5-speed transmission on it, shifting from the floor there, kind of like the old school Craftsmans. Switch for the lights, separately controlled from the key switch. Seat's not that bad a shape. It's got one crack right here, one crack right here. Again, a testament to time for just keeping it under a shelter. The definite weak link in this mower, which we're about to get to and begin to address, I believe the mower will run because it's got good compression on it. I'll be charging the battery. Let's see inside the tank. It smells like it's got some bad gas, so we're probably going to have to delve into the carburetor. There's no gas in it right now though, so probably have to take this panel off just to make sure it's not leaking gas down anywhere. Might need gas lines. It's not that big of a deal. I want to close the hood, but I want to check the air filter first. See how good that is. Fuel lines really are just dirty. They're not really that bad off. We'll just have to see if they're leaking or anything like that. Again, this was kept under a shelter. If it wasn't, then this mower would basically be trash, most likely. Let's see. It will most likely need an air filter. Let's take a look at what this one looks like. I don't think it looks the best. Sorry for the light there. Yeah, this one's caked up, so I'll need a new air filter. That's not a big deal. And I have my friend the mouse nest under there too, so we'll have to get that out. I saw a mouse nest around it. I can actually keep the air filter out of it, but just trying to keep my garage a little bit nicer. But the first order of business, I'm getting the battery charged up. I'm going to see if I can get this thing cranked over and know that it at least runs. Like I said, I'm probably going to have to put a carburetor on it or clean this one out, one of the two. It's probably in pretty bad shape. I wonder if I can get a wrench real quick and get the bowl off. The big deal on this mower, however, I'm giving y'all a walk around here. The brakes are good on it. The mower shifts into all 5 gears just fine, so, and reverse. It's extremely tight. I don't think this mower's seen a lot of use for the age of it. The spindles, they making a little bit of noise. I'm going to see how bad they are once I get going on it. If I have to, I'll have to replace them. Hopefully not. Pulley's in good shape. The big deal about this is it's got the 38-inch deck on it, and if y'all know how the 38-inch decks are on these older Craftsman, they are just trash most of the time, especially if they've been abused. They've got like rust holes and all that mess in them. This one here I found, if I can grab my flashlight, it's not that big of a deal because the deck, from everything I can see, is actually pretty solid on this thing. Hopefully there's no Swiss cheese whenever I get it off of the mower, which I'm about to do here in just a couple minutes. But there's I guess probably why this mower was parked, was the deck bracket came loose from the mower deck. However, if you look at it, it just looks like a stress fracture. It doesn't look like it's rust related, because if you look at the rest of the deck, it's just got a little bit of surface rust and stuff on it from what I can tell. And that's just gravel down there. So let me go ahead and get the tools and whatnot to get this deck off while I've got it here. And we're going to slide the deck out, and we are going to either have my dad weld it, or if I ever get a welder, I'll weld it. Just get that out of there. That way we can go ahead and start that process, and then I'll start working to see if I can get it to run. Hopefully in this part 1, getting this thing running. All right, so we're going to work on getting this deck off here. Pretty straightforward. You got some pins that you got to get out on each side of the deck, which I guess you could pull them out. You can either pull them out here, pull them out on the front. I try to pull them out on the front because you can use that, use those handles kind of like as a grab handle to move the deck and stuff around. I'll go ahead and lower it down all the way here. And let's see, 1 pin right here. Probably need more than 2 hands to do it. 1 pin right there, and then we'll go on the other side. Same deal. You got 1 pin right here. You could take that one off instead. Just one of those 2 you take off. Pin right here on the back to take off, and a pin right here, and those will get you, that'll get you laid down, and then you can just slide the deck out the right side. So I'm going to go ahead and start working on those off camera. That way I can hopefully expedite the process of this video, since I haven't done it on camera before. I just wanted to show you I'll get to the point where I'm ready to pull it out, and we'll pull it out and look at it. Alright, so I have one up top that I missed, and it is right, if you see where the light is, it's right there where that bolt is, and that's the linkage for the deck height, or the deck blade engagement, So we're going to get that off as well. Right, can't see it probably, right there. So I got that, and that pulls down just like that. So that was the last one that we had there. Sorry, it's just not really a good light here in the middle of Eastern Standard Time after 5 o'clock. So I got that off, and should be able to pull this thing out now. Just kind of. So we got it off. How's it looking here, y'all? Looks alright, don't it? Let's look under it. I'll have to sweep up at some point. I just got some stuff caked on right there. It's right where those two deck brackets are. I'll have to get that cleaned off. No other holes from what I can see. If any come up, I might scrape some of this off right here. If any of them come up, I'll let you know, but these blades are pretty trash, so I'll have to get some blades for it as well. Oh, the blade brakes are on. That's what, or the lack thereof. That's where my noise is coming from. There's a ladybug. How about that? Let's see. Let's see if I can pull this up and move them at the same time. Yeah, a little bit of noise, but nothing. Nothing end of the world type, so I think the spindles are going to be okay. I'll address the blade situation. So like I said, I don't think they're salvageable in the current condition that they are. So I'll price out some blades. Figured that the tire tube's probably 15, the blades are probably 20. And then an air filter. So when it's all said and done, I'll probably have close to $100 in the mower. Should sell for about $3. So, you know, hopefully not a lot of work associated with it. If I have to put a battery in it, it might be more closer to about 120. But, you know, it's a lawnmower. You want to make it right for whoever buys it from you. You don't want to screw anybody over. So I'm just putting the pins and stuff back where they're supposed to be, and we'll take this last pin off here for the bracket that I'm going to have to get welded back on, which I'm going to have to do with 2 hands. I'll get these other 2 pins back in their respective places, because if y'all ever work on these mowers, y'all know that it's real easy to lose these little pins here. So deck's off. Next order of business is to see if I can get it to run, or at least if it'll kick over. And so let me look at the carburetor real quick. Alright, so 7/16 inch took off the bowl nut, and there's the inside of the bowl. Just a little bit of rust. Just a little bit of rust. Nothing really else I can see in terms of like There's a little bit of corrosion and stuff in there, but honestly, I don't really see any. The needle and seat look to be good, or the float and all that looks like it's supposed to be operable the way that it is. So even the gasket looks good. So what I might do is grab just a paper clip or something just to see. In all honesty, I might just try and crank it up and see if it'll run like it is after I obviously get the mouse nest out of it, which I'll tackle on another day. But again, not too bad so far. Hopefully I'm not jinxing myself or anything like that. So even with neutral, the brake's holding. Y'all know I've had an issue with that on another Craftsman back there. So yeah, so I'll get the deck bracket off. I'll continue with this on another day here, getting the mouse nest and stuff cleaned out of it. Might have to pull a Bruce Pender and go ahead and wash it before I start working on it. So we'll see, what comes about with that. But definitely gonna get the mouse nest out before we try and get this thing going.